even the vast attack, can collapse this regime?
It's a good question. I mean, I think that's the thing that I think everybody has to go through and look at the analysis. What does that look like? And then what? The most important question we should ask ourselves, would we create something even worse, depending upon who's in? What is the strategy then to replace that if that happens? So
basically what you say, if the United States doesn't have a plan for the day after, for example, like for Gaza, then it shouldn't start.
So I am no longer in the military doing that, but I mean, that would be the thing that I would be asking the question.
Okay, let's go back
nice try.
Okay. October 7. Right after October 7, you came to Israel and asked what you can do to help. What was your first impression of what has happened?
So I came there right after, but I would tell you I came there all the time before that, and that was how we truly developed the relationship. I just had dinner and breakfast with the former Chief of Defense. I had dinner with the current Chief of Defense when I was in Israel just 2 nights ago. His lovely daughter is here tonight. I probably shouldn't say that, but Ronnie, good to have you here. So when October 7th happened, because we had such strong relationship, I don't think people understand how strong this relationship was. Tal Kelman was supposed to be here tonight with us, F-35 pilot. He was the J5 plans and policy. I mean, he was the guy who kept the official tally of phone calls, video conferences, secure calls, top secret calls. He didn't get a chance to count my text with the Chief of Defense. It was daily communication up until October 7th. Afterwards, I think there was confusion. I was talking to the Chief of Defense almost hourly, trying to understand, because I wanted to understand what could we do to help? How could we make sure that we could help bring clarity to what was happening through our intelligence systems? And most importantly, making sure the messaging that no one could interfere and take advantage of this. And Hezbollah, Syrians Assad, the Iranian-aligned militia groups in Iraq, the Houthis, and most importantly, Iran. And that's when you saw we asked for the resources we needed, and you saw a very strong message coming out, and we were rushing resources to the region and let it be known that we were not going to let anyone take advantage of the situation.
And one of these steps was to send the USS Gerald Ford to the region, kind of to signal deterrence against Hezbollah and Iran and others. Do you think that it helps?
I absolutely do. I mean, Hezbollah started on 2 days later, but I think we kept Iran out from being able to take advantage of the situation. And that was, and you have to have the resources in there to be able to it's military diplomacy in terms of having the strength and power in there to make sure that you can back up any threats.
And during the war, you have orchestrated an unprecedented military cooperation between the United States, Israel, and other countries, mainly twice when Iran attacked us, both in April and in September. Can you take us behind the scene? How do you make such an international coalition?
So when we had the initial Iranian attack on 13 April, I mean, what people don't understand is there was dozens and dozens of coordination calls, VTCs. I flew to the region so that I could command and control our forces from in the region. And it was daily meetings several times a day. If I was not in the region, my deputy was there, Brad Cooper, the current commander of CENTCOM, a great American, and a good friend of Israel. My staff was there talking to their counterparts every day. So when we were having the attack on 13 April, I remember telling Herzi Halevi, the Chief of Defense, we had a good idea, the number of drones that Iran was going to fire. And I said, Herzi, I'm going to take 50% of them. I'm going to leave 50% for you. Now, this is a true story. Dan Hagari is in here, the former spokesman, so he can back me up on this. We shot down, of the 160 drones that came from Israel, we shot down 81. For the non-math majors in here, that leaves 79 for Israel. Well, there was maybe a little bit of a cook in the books that Herzi came up later and said the numbers were 82 and 82. So we just went with that. But I don't think people understand, though, just how big a deal that was, that you had 160 long-range suicide drones with 50-pound warheads on them. You had 30 cruise missiles coming from Iran. You had 120 medium-range ballistic missiles with up to 1,000 to 1,500-pound warheads on them, and not a single Israeli was even injured. And we shot down 50.0%.
We have time for one more question. We'll make it a quick two. During the 12 days war with Iran, first, what do you think about the way the IDF was operating, the intelligence that he had on the ground in Iran, and actually taking over the airspace of Iran in a very short time? And second, when did you understand that President Trump gave a green light to the B-2 to leave the States, and you understand that you are going to take a much more part in this operation with Midnight Hammer?
What was the last part?
When did you understand that Midnight Hammer is about to happen?
Oh, all right.
Because we were quite surprised.
So the first question, I mean, I was in Israel almost twice a month for my entire command, it seemed like. But what was happening was, as we watched the build-up, and we all knew what was going to happen, what Israel did in terms of the air power, we call that in the military air supremacy. They've had a superhighway from Tel Aviv to Tehran and could fly at will, and I knew what their estimates were on aircraft they thought they would lose initially. I mean, they barely got shot at because the intelligence was so good, they shredded. They basically decimated the Iranian air defense and could fly at will across. And it should be studied by every military in the world of what they did. And they did an absolutely tremendous job on that. And the last question?
When did you understand that Midnight Hammer is about to happen and the B-2 are going?
When the president told me.
When was it?
But I mean, so just so you know, we've rehearsed that mission for years.
Yeah, I know.
And after the mission, I flew out to the B-2 base because we had talked to the pilots throughout. And we did all the planning with them. And I do have to chuckle. One quick story. You had all the experts on TV, and they're saying, you know, the B-2 pilot, he has a very scientifically regimented diet, and they only eat certain food. I said, what'd you guys eat? He goes, way too much Chick-fil-A and too much candy than I'm willing to admit. But, you know, they trained for that mission over and over. And I talked to the individual who actually designed the bunker buster bomb, which was one of our closely held secrets. And he worked on that thing for 15 years. And, I mean, he was so emotional, and it worked exactly the way it was supposed to. But,
and when did it happen into the war?
What's that?
When did it happen into the war? Because at the beginning, we didn't know whether President Trump will greenlight the participation of the U.S. Army.
When did I know, or when did I think? I thought the minute the war started that we would be involved.
Then the president? The president, when did he decide?
When he told me, he gave me, he asked me how much time, I told him how much time I needed, and then we executed.
And I won't know. Okay.
Nice try.
Thank you very much. And before we could conclude, we would like to give you a gift, a special edition of the book 12 Days in June, signed personally by the President of the State of Israel. It's a carton.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. In this recent conflict we've just talked about, Israel has shown a clear and definite air dominance, and this includes special air defense, AI-driven targeting, precision strike, and many more. One of the key players in Israeli aerospace success and one of the major force in the Israeli economy is the Israel Aerospace Industries Company. Let's take a look at some of the recent highlights.
In 1983, the President of the United States set an ambitious goal that at the time seemed impossible: to intercept and neutralize ballistic missile threats in mid-air, far from their targets. Engineers at IAI answered that challenge, once thought unsolvable. With the support and partnership of the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, IAI's Aero program was born. In 2023, the IAI's Aero system made history. For the first time, a ballistic missile launched from Yemen towards Israel and was successfully intercepted outside the Earth's atmosphere, far beyond Israel's borders. Since then, over the past 2 years, hundreds of ballistic missiles have been launched in attacks against Israel from both Iran and Yemen. The Aero system was activated on all of those attacks and performed beyond imagination. The incoming threats were successfully intercepted outside the atmosphere, defending the nation with a success rate that stunned the world. The knowledge and experience gained from the joint U.S.-Israel partnership over many years has now become a global strategic asset for the employees of IAI and for all our partners in defense communities across Israel and the United States. This is far more than simply a technological achievement. It is a shared mission to protect lives, safeguard our nations, strengthen security, and shape a safer future together.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Israeli aerospace engineer, CEO of Israel Aerospace Industries, and the lighter of the Shield Torch at Israel's 76th Independence Ceremony, Boaz Levy. Welcome. Before we start, I just want to be honest and ask you again about the situation in the region. If something happens, are we ready?
We were born ready.
Okay. Can we repeat whatever happened in June?
I think that, first of all, thank you for being here tonight. It's a great pleasure and honor to speak in front of you. You could see in the last video that we just presented the capability of ballistic missile defense. I would like to say that this is a cooperation. It's a cooperation between the United States and Israel, between the MDA and IDF, and the Israeli MOD, together with IAI as the prime contractor. We are building missiles in order to intercept another missiles. The combination between Arrow 3 and Arrow 2 works perfectly. General Corilia, it was almost 90% that we intercepted there, and I think that these are phenomenal numbers when we are speaking about ballistic missile defense. So you ask me if we are ready? Yes, we are.
The past 2 years have shown some of the most remarkable technological leaps in Israel history. What breakthrough are you personally most proud of?
I'm working on this project from the last 35 years, from the moment President Reagan asked the question, can you hit a bullet with a bullet? And we at IAI said, yes, we can. And actually, we didn't fully understand what we are saying. But we built a system. And the system that we've built and tested in many places, some of them are here in the States, were systems that will intercept the ballistic missiles. But we never thought that the enemy will dare to use such a massive salvo attacks against Israel. And this is the only thing that we were surprised of. The decision to have a salvo attack that will actually change the face of the world. Because nowadays, this is not only an Israeli problem, it's the problem of the world. Anyone can launch salvo attacks against cities, against populations. We proved that we can do it. But now we make sure that the world will be an even safer place.
And there are plenty of US-Israel technology cooperation. Can you tell us about a joint project that capture the true potential of this alliance?
You mean about
Between us and
the program that we are working is a really collaboration between the two nations. We are working on development, we are working on the production. Actually, 50% of the systems are being produced here in the United States, and we are integrating them in Israel. So looking forward toward a better decisions of here in the States and in Israel, and what is being called these days Golden Dome, I believe that this technological contribution for both nations can serve for the United States as well. And we would like to be a part of it, although we know that we need a prime contractor here in the States, and we also know that we need to fully manufacture the system here. But when you have such an ally, and when the cooperation is that high, we can do it.
And the IAI sells to countries all over the world. For example, recently we have seen HETS 3 given to Germany. How do you think the world sees Israel manufacturing?
Well, we are actually, it's the beginning of this story was the signing of the contract. We signed the contract with Germany about a week before October 7. We didn't know that the world is going to be changed in a week after. We didn't know that we are going to go into war, but we promised the Germans to deploy the systems in 2 years, and that's what we did. The authorization to sell the system to Germany is an authorization given by the U.S. administration and the Israeli government. And it's a government-to-government decision, but this time it's 3 governments that are involved, and IAI, Israel Aerospace Industries, is leading these projects. So when I'm looking at it, first of all, I'm very proud that we can protect civilians in the world. And if I may say so, as a son to an Holocaust survivor, it makes an even better feeling for me as well.
And last question. President Trump has unveiled a vision for a Golden Dome, which is kind of a space-based, multi-layer global missile defense concept. How can Israel contribute to this vision?
As I said, Golden Dome is a unique architecture to protect the United States from ballistic missiles. It can be done as has been done in Israel by ground capability that will intercept the incoming ballistic missile. It can be done from space, and there are a lot of activities. We believe that the technology we shared together and the maturity of the system has been proved in the last 2 years is a key factor for the future as well, and we believe that we can team up.
Over
Over the past 24 months, the Israeli-American community was deeply involved in stories of unimaginable hardship alongside extraordinary resilience. The hostage situation in Gaza was a global concern, but it was also as personal as it gets. And the next story was particularly personal to the IAC and the Israeli-American community. Our next guests are two Israeli Americans whose son has been to hell and came back. Here's their story.
My name is עידן אלכסנדר. באמת רוצה להאמין שאני אחזור הביתה בשלום, בריא ושלם.
שהגיע נתן הרבה מאוד אוויר למשפחות שסוף סוף לא הרגישו לבד.
The last known living American hostage held in Gaza, Idan Alexander, is going to be released.
Thousands turned out to sing, dance, and celebrate his release.
Idan Alexander was honored this morning in his hometown of Tenafly.
Wyckoff gave Alexander a Star of David necklace his late son used to wear.
Idan Alexander met with President Trump and the First Lady today at the White House.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause, please, for these incredible human beings on what is a much happier occasion. Please come out, Yael and Adi Alexander. This is an entirely new existence for you two, isn't it? Having people stand and cheer and clap for you. It's insane.
Shalom, everyone. Good evening. It is insane. Last year, we've been in different situation in the IAC summit, and tonight we're grateful. Idan is home. Idan is alive. Idan is healthy, and thank God for that.
I want you to take me back and now that he's home, I don't know if this is easier to do or you were just in the moment and on auto mode. How did you survive that many days? Because, you know, I say to people, I lose my daughter in the supermarket for a second and I feel physically ill. I can't even fathom how you breathed for that long.
It was 584 days of fear, of exhaustion, of night without sleep, and worried, constant worry for my child. I didn't know what to say to my daughter and my little son Roy. Like, we were exhausted, but still with a lot of faith and a lot of belief that Idan is strong, is gonna be okay, he will survive, and thank God he is.
I think it's a very different experience, a mother and a father. And I know that men in particular, and thank you, President Trump, we're allowed to talk about men having certain traits now as well. Those days are dead. It must have been so hard for you because your job as a dad is to protect your family. How did you survive, and how did you try and shield them from this horror?
First of all, thank you for having us. It was a really out-of-body experience to waking up every morning to this thing for the 584 days. But hope was mandatory, and we knew since the beginning from the released hostages that saw Idan in those tunnels, and he was relatively well. And but 7 months before his release, we had no signs of life. It was unbelievable situation up until this Thanksgiving's hostage video was released after 421 days, if I'm correct. And it gave us tremendous hope and strength, and finally it happened for us and for everybody else.
Take me back to the moment that you were told, and if you wouldn't mind, take us second by second from when you got the call or the message or someone came in person.
So it's Mother's Day, Sunday morning. We are all the family together. And after brunch, we want to go out to sit outside at the garden. And Adi told me, listen, I need to blow some leaves. It's not clean enough outside. And then he's looking at his phone and he's calling me, Yael, Yael, you wouldn't believe it. I see 10 missed calls from Steve Witkov. And I'm like, what? Call him. Let's see what's going on. And then Steve is telling us, listen, open the TV. In a couple of minutes, Hamas is going to release an announcement that Idan is going to be released tomorrow. Get a ticket now to Israel. And I'm like crying, and you cannot believe the feeling that I had. And especially on Mother's Day, my son is coming back home. It was unbelievable.
He's been home for a little while now, and I wonder, and I mean, you Israelis and Jewish people are wonderful with humor, so I'm allowed to ask this. I wonder when the first time was that you got frustrated with him or get angry with him since he came home. Like, did he leave something on the floor, or like his messy room? Like, when does your softness end?
Where is this sweatshirt? Where is this T-shirt? Like small stuff, you know. Idan is very calm and very centered, so he's not like losing it. But you know what? I was missing so much of this stuff. You know, for him to ask me, you saw that sweatshirt, you know, where is this and that, because he's forgetting everything. And I'm like, thank God this is the Texas now between us.
Yeah.
So.
The things that once
Yes.
annoyed you now are so grateful
Everything
for.
is extraordinary now.
Tell me about this man who I'm about to invite up on stage, Steve Witkov, and the support that he provided to you and what he means to you as a person.
First of all, none of this would have happened without Steve. And first of all, a huge credit for President Trump for his leadership and for the really moral clarity for him, even before taking office, recognizing the real humanitarian crisis. And for Miriam Edelson, we spent so many times and hours over the phone and meetings. Her help was really crucial. But Steve is like a family to us. I think we talk over the phone for the 6 months every day, literally every day. Not every other day, but every day. And I think it's all because of him. My son wearing Andrew's chain proudly. And we think about this man every day, really.
I'd normally say that's creepy, but I get it. I get it. I'd like to actually ask Steve to make his way up. And whilst he's making his way up, I want to ask you very quickly to tell us, and I know you don't want to go into lots of detail, but how Idan is, and the fact that he wants to go back into the military is pretty amazing.
I think it caught us a little bit by surprise, and surprisingly, he asked to go back into his original unit, which is Infantry Golani Brigade. We said, no way. But he came back, and he felt strongly that he needed that. And back then, when he made this decision, we still had hostages in there. We still have one of our guys, Ron Gvili, there. But back then, we had almost 50 hostages. And again, we're really proud of this decision. He has 7 months left on this service, and we are waiting to get him back.
That's phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, please make very welcome Steve Witkov. standing and give a very well-earned farewell to this incredible couple. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you so much. So lovely to meet you, Mr. Wittkoff. I had your son on my show and he was wonderful. You should be very proud.
He's sitting right here.
Oh, is he here? Oh, Alex, hello. He's a wonderful, wonderful young man. You've done an incredible job.
Thank you.
We're not here to talk about him, though, are we? No. We're here to, first of all, thank you for the incredible job that you do.
Thank you.
It's phenomenal. And I will ask you about Iran, but before I want to ask you about this space, because this incredible couple just said you spoke to them every day, and they weren't the only hostage family, as we know. This was deeply personal to you, wasn't it? This wasn't just a job. This was, I'm assuming, your existence non-stop, 24 hours a day for a long period of time.
Well, first of all, it was deeply personal to President Trump. He is... when we got the 20 hostages home, the last 20, and their families came to the White House, the president pulled me aside. I saw the tears. He doesn't like anyone to see tears. And he said to me, "This is the greatest day I've ever had in the White House."
Wow. That is incredible.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm a member of that really bad club that has lost a child. So for me, it was very personal, and I think the president knew that. And so when he allowed me to take this job, it was the greatest blessing of my life, because my son's death then got to mean something for me. I got to meet these incredible families and work with them and meet the most incredible people I ever had the privilege of working with. Coriila, he became my very, very good friend. Miriam Adelson, I met as a result of her friendship with the president. We became great friends. So it was a very special experience.
Was there a part of helping to get so many people home that was healing for you in a way? And I don't know, I've never gone through what you've gone through.
Yeah, well, you know, I feel that my boy puts his hand on my shoulder and leads me to these places. And his death now feels like it counts for something. Like that was his purpose. God took him back at 23, but asked me through him, or asked him through me, to meet these wonderful families. And it's the blessing of my life. I don't know how to describe it any more than that.
Were there any moments where you thought, this ain't gonna happen? Did you have those moments? Sorry, that's very Australian. Where you thought this will not happen? Yeah, we were scared. I mean, I talked to the Alexanders. We did talk every day. And we talked to all the families. And we would come to Israel and go to Hostage Square and meet with the families. And they were frustrated because Hamas said that they would release at certain times, and then they held back. And so it was a very difficult, you know, on the one hand, we were negotiating. On the other hand, we were trying to make the families understand that we were hopeful. And yet, we were frustrated and discouraged, and we didn't want to show them that. President Trump took to X, or Truth Social, his version, it was then reposted on X just a few moments ago, the Board of Peace, and he attributed that to you, which is phenomenal. Congratulations. Can you tell us what that is and what it means, not just for the Middle East, but for the global existence of all of us? Well, it's not just me. I mean, we have a great team. President Trump dreamt it up. He's a big thinker. His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who's become my partner, is exceptional. I mean, he's really exceptional. You know, the American government is an amazing team now. I was on the phone with Marco Rubio before he got here. I love him. He's amazing. Sensational. Our vice president is amazing. Pete Hegseth. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Brad Cooper, who replaced General Corolla, Dan Kane. It's mesmerizing. I mean, I was, during Operation Midnight Hammer, I was in the Situation Room with these guys, thinking to myself, I missed the Vietnam draft by probably 18 months. Now I have an opportunity to be close to these incredible warriors. And they're amazing men. General Corolla is an amazing man. We were so lucky to have him. But the Board of Peace is a really big deal, really big deal. Jared and I did a FaceTime today with the 14 members of the Technocratic Committee. We actually have succeeded, the United States government has, in standing up a new government that will forever replace Hamas. That happened today.
Congratulations, it's incredible. I guess that leads really nicely into a situation that is not nice at all, and that is Iran. And we've seen some of the most courageous, phenomenal people in the world stand up against an evil regime and fight for their freedom. And God bless them all. President Trump has said help is on the way. What does that mean?
Well, I think President Trump warned the Iranians. And at his direction, we communicated with the Iranians yesterday. And one of the things we were concerned about were the killings that were rumored to be on the way. Hangings, mass hangings, and that's been shut down. I think, as everyone knows, the president has announced that. He's the only one in the world who has that indomitable strength that can bend people. I watch it happen. It's quite remarkable to watch it happen. And he says to me all the time, Steve, you're so lucky to be my envoy. How lucky are you, okay, how lucky are you that I picked you? You didn't even know where the Black Sea was before you became the envoy.
I'm not sure that's entirely right.
But it's, oh my God, it's my greatest privilege to work for him. He's such an exceptional man.
He is. He's phenomenal. Fox News, again, prior to coming on here, have said that significant American military infrastructure is heading towards, and I know you can't say much, so don't get me wrong, I understand that. Do you think we'll see some kind of military action?
Well, I hope there's a diplomatic resolution. I really do. There are 4 issues: nuclear enrichment, missiles. They have to cut back on their inventory. The actual material that they have, which is roughly 2,000 kilograms, which is enriched anywhere between 3.67% and 60, and the proxies, of course, and I think if Iran, which is stumbling in their economy, it's a pretty serious situation. There's no water there 16 hours a day. There's no electric 12 hours a day. Inflation is probably well north of 50%. That's a lot of problems. So I think if they want to come back to the League of Nations, if we can solve those 4 problems diplomatically, then that would be a great resolution. And I think the alternative is a bad one.
The people of Iran clearly want that regime gone. What would you say to them?
I'd say to them, they're incredibly courageous people, and we stand with you.
Last point on this, President Trump, I think 2 days prior to the 12-day war starting, said regarding the Islamic regime of Iran, we'll give them 2 weeks. And then 2 days later, they were on. Could we be seeing something similar in regards to maybe just misleading people a little bit and then...
Well, I want to say, I had General Corolla, I was in the room with General Corolla. I had the great privilege of being in the command center with the president during the 12-day war. The president, he's a really good commander-in-chief. I actually asked him afterwards, like, where did you learn this? Did you go to war college? Because he's just that good. His instincts are impeccable. He understands all the different iterations. Now, part of it is he's got a great team. So at CENTCOM, at the Pentagon, They're war planning. They're giving him all the different alternatives. But his instincts are just spot on. And I don't want to, I'm not in a position to reveal sort of how he thinks, but I think it's hard to understand how he thinks. He just always inevitably gets to the right place. And I think he'll get our country there this time, too.
Mr. Wittkoff, were you just basically trying to say to me, trust President Trump? I'm sorry? Were you just trying to say to me, just trust President Trump, essentially?
That's what I'm saying. He's the right guy to trust. He's the right man for the job.
Yeah, amazing. When you look back on your life, and this feels a little bit morbid, and you're still very young, by the way, don't you worry at all. What do you think your legacy will be, and what would you like people to say about you?
Well, I hope people think I'm a good person and that I tried to help.
Outside of what you do, and we'll wrap it up, I know you're very busy and you've got to go. I'd love to know what gives you joy? Obviously family, and what do you do that makes you happy or that helps you switch off a little bit? Because this world must be all-consuming.
I'll answer the question within an experience I had. We went to the Israeli hospital where the 5 IDF girls were released. Clearly they were substantially mistreated. All their families were in the room. I was there with other people from my team and my girlfriend, and I'd had a dream that I was singing Am Yisrael Chai, the song, that night before. And I told the parents this, and all the doctors walked into the room and the nurses, and it was just this incredible energy, and everybody started singing Am Yisrael Chai. And so so the president says to me all the time, he says, you're never going to want to go out and build skyscrapers again, are you, after this? And the truth is, no. This is what I've had the opportunity to do in the last 11 months is the most worthy thing I ever had the opportunity to do. And so I'm thankful for that. And I thank President Trump for that.
Final question for you. This event tonight is so important, and I think we see examples all over the world that when you don't have unity and when you don't have strong relationships between nations, things crumble and they fall. Where would you rate currently the relationship between America and Israel, and particularly between the two leaders as well?
So I would echo what General Kourilya said. They're our best partner. And thank God, I think the Israelis would tell you, thank God for the United States, and we would say, thank God for Israel.
Steve Wittkoff, thank you so much for making time. I know that it was really was a big ask, so thank you. We appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for being blessed.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we are still waiting and praying for the return of the last hostage, Ran Gvili, Zichrono Livracha. If you look at your chairs, there is a sticker mentioning the number of days Ran is still in captivity, and if you want to wear it on your shirt, now will be the best time. For a special prayer for the return home of Ran, I would like to invite President of Yeshiva University, Rabbi Ari Berman, and Ran Gvili's mother, Tali, and his sister, Shira.
Talik, Ron is not only your son, he is the son of us all. A true hero of Israel who exemplified courage, bravery, achrayut, and ahavat Israel. Although he was injured with a separated shoulder, when his brothers and sisters were attacked on October 7th, he could not rest. He would not sit by. He fought and saved so many lives. And we will not rest. We will not sit by until he is returned home. On behalf of my dear friend Miriam, of all of us here in this room, of the entire IAC community and the people of Israel, we join together in this special tefillah, in this prayer. Rabbono shel olam, Master of the world, Hashev et Ran al admat Yisrael, כדי שמשפחתו תוכל ללוות אותו בדרך האחרונה בכבוד, באהבה ובקדושה. יהי רצון מלפניך שתשיב אותו במהרה ושנזכה לקברו בארץ אשר עליה מסר את נפשו. Everyone needs to be back, for all of us to be back. Bring home a true Gibor Yisrael to be raised to rest with dignity in Medinat Yisrael. Yehei Zechro Baruch v'tzoror chayav v'tzoror hachayim.
Thank you very much. And of course, we will not stop until Ran will be home. Thank you for coming here.
This is my son, but my son is your son. We must bring him home. Thank you.
We just heard about the military innovation and technology, but on the battlefield, there's another factor, a factor that is no less crucial, the human fighting spirit.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And on the morning of October 7, as the terrorists were making their way into Israel, a small tank company composed entirely of female soldiers was rushed in from the Egyptian border. They are phenomenal, absolutely, to fight and stop the infiltrators. Take a look.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, and all those things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight. Take back my life. My power's turning up. Starting right now. I'll be strong. I'll fight my fight song. And I don't really got a lot of fight left in me. No, I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
Are amazing, aren't they? Incredible. And ladies and gentlemen, what a treat for you. Two of them now join I-24 reporter and news anchor Yigal Ravid.
Ladies and gentlemen, IAC family, it's a great honor and pleasure being tonight, and even a greater pleasure to invite upon to the stage two brilliant, magnificent, and historical young ladies. Please welcome the tank company commander, Captain Carney Gates, and Combat Sergeant Bar Asaraf. Everybody got the idea pretty much. You made history. You were basically the first female fighters in a tank, in an actual combat, occupied the whole tank, occupied by young ladies. You were the commando. And you...
I was a gunner.
You were the gunner, התותחנית. There's a movie coming up about your historical story. What was it like?
So first of all, I want to say thank you for the honor to see all of you and be invited to speak with you today. And I think the movie is just reflecting of the unique DNA that had to my company and still have, and give some of our values to taste outside of the world.
So take me back, or maybe you should, take me back to October 7th, 6:29 a.m. What was it like? What happened?
So that was an uncleared morning. We didn't know what's going on around us. We were scrambled to the tank around 7 a.m. and we started driving north. At first, we were ordered to just move north on our own tracks, and then our order changed, and we were ordered to move directly to the Gaza envelope. And as we reached to Kerem Shalom Passage, the reality of the day...
The southern part of the Gaza district near the
Yes.
Egyptian border.
And we went on to 232 road. The reality of the day hit us. We saw a big amount of terrorists running back and forth near the border. And Carney joined us to the tank.
Big amount, so big that I heard the rumor just before I came on stage that you alone killed 50 Hamas terrorists.
Yes.
5-0. זה נכון?
We didn't count them.
How much time did you need for that?
We didn't count how much we killed, but I'm sure we killed a lot.
What was it like?
We
you sure
had-
did.
we
Trust
did
me,
what
you
we
sure
did
did. What is it like to become an officer, a captain, מ"פ, נכון? Of a tanks group company in Israel? Why did you choose that profession, that task?
So I didn't choose, the profession chose
They
us.
chose you.
Yeah, I started in the Caracal Brigade. It's like Ground Force Brigade. And I think it's the remarkable thing that took time to understand. We started as a project that the Army tried to understand if women can do those things, but from inside perspective, women can do anything if they chose to do that.
So, Bar, your story, I mean, the two of you and the two other girls, we've seen them all, inspired producers, directors, and actors, and it's going to be a movie coming up, and you're going to be part of it, of that
Yes.
movie. What are you going to be there?
I'm going to play my own role in this movie. I'm going to play myself in
Pretty
a movie
amazing.
based and
They just finished the
inspired.
shootings, and the movie's going to come up sometime later this year.
Maybe in the summer, I think.
Okay. And what is it like to become a movie star because of that day?
I'm not a movie star yet.
You will be.
I'm not
You-
an
you
actress, and
already
I've
are.
never been one, but I got opportunity to be a part of the movie, and I'm playing myself. And I took this opportunity as my exposure therapy for that day.
Is it really part of your therapy?
Yes. To process that day and living the same situation and again and again and again helped me to process that day on my own way.
She deserved that.
Carney, 2 years and was it like 2 years and 3 months after that day? What is your life like? What are you up to right now?
So after the role of commander of those company, I had a role as operational officer in 52 battalion that was armored battalion. It was very unique position during the war, of course. Now I released from the army and I'm learning computer science and life science in Reichman University and purpose to be a doctor one day.
But I understand your Torah heritage of a tank fighter. Let me tell you, you don't look like neither do you. This is a total...
It's just a game.
You know what? Everybody has been asking us, in the media, I do covering the United States for I-24 News, and everybody, do girls really serve in the Israeli army? Yes, they do. And they're not just pkidot that preparing cafe. They're doing real significant, major, important, crucial jobs, like yourself, right? But there's an ongoing debate in the Israeli society whether you, girls, young women, should serve, especially in combat missions in the army. What is your answer to them?
I think that in the 7th of October, we show the world and the army that women can and should be in combat units. I think women can do everything they want if they can. In the army, if a woman is able to keep up with the demands, physically and mentally, I think she can be at the same position exactly like men can.
Karni, how many years you served in the army? Are you still...
6.5 years.
6.5 years. You're out of the tanks. You're up to your next stage in life. What did your parents, what was their reaction after that day?
So my parents are very religious, and I think they didn't know about the battle until 1 month after. And the joke about my mother, that on that day she texts me and say, update me what's going on, and I sent her pictures, smiling, and say, I was born for that day. And she didn't understand. She saved my life with a lot of hearts. So my parents good with that, and they support me in any role that I will want to take, and I appreciate them for that.
It's funny because I had a different conversation with my dad. He's a lieutenant colonel in the Armored Corps, and he asked me a very professional question about what am I doing right now, like what shell did I shoot, or where am I?
So there's a lot going on about the way Israel is being foreseen, it's being described, it's being talked about around the world right now, especially after that war and everything that took place since that day. Do you feel like you want to take part of it, doing hasbara, all the thing that we basically need to show the beautiful, young, beautiful, courageous face of Israel? Do you want to do that? Is this something you were thinking about?
Hasbara?
Okay.
I think it's very important to do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's very important to do it because not all of people know our story or all of the things that happen in the army or just in the country. And I can't even,
Last question. Where do I see you in 2 years from now?
In 2 years? Maybe in another movie.
or another tank. And you, Karni?
I probably will still learning to be a doctor, so.
תודה רבה.
Thank you. Thank you.
כן.
Thank you all.
תודה רבה, קרני. Thank you, girl. תודה. אנחנו סיימנו. Thank you so much. אנחנו נשארים יושבים.
Okay, let's see. Just a second. I think Igali wanted to say something.
It's like the Oscars. They just cut him off. There we go. Well, I think actually there is a movie, as we know, being made, and we've got the trailer, so why don't we have a quick look at that?
Let's go.
So this is the movie we've been talking about. This is a quick trailer of Tankistas. איך להגיד טנקיסטיות באנגלית? טנקיסטס. So that's what I learned a new word in English today. So thank you again. Good luck to both of you. Good luck to the new movie that's going to show a different, important face of Israel in those very special and very difficult years. And thank you again, Steve Witkov, if you're still with us. And thank you again, President Donald Trump.
And thank you. That was amazing. But please, don't just go yet. Please come up here. If it's okay, we have something we want to give you to present a special recognition award to Carney and Bar. Please welcome Chair of the Conference of President of Major American Jewish Organizations, Betsy Burns-Korn, and CEO to the Conference of President of Major American Jewish Organization, William Delf.
Bless you, you're incredible. Okay, big round of applause again for our incredible tankistas, I think is their new name. And thank you so much to Bar, Carney, Betsy, and all of you for your incredible support. We're very, very grateful. We'd also like to thank the El Al airline as well for their incredible support.
Betsy and William will say a few words now.
And good evening. What a night. Thank you for welcoming William Daroff and me to the IAC National Summit. This gathering matters, especially now. Since October 7th, the Jewish people confront trauma, resolve, heartbreak, and moral clarity all at once. Unity does not happen by accident. Leaders must choose it, build it, and sustain it through real relationships. That commitment defines IAC, and it explains your growing role in American Jewish life.
Thank you, Betsy, and thank you to IAC for hosting us. And you just cannot imagine how amazing it is to see nearly 4,000 of us sitting here today, celebrating Israel, celebrating the Jewish people. And my view right here is of Dr. Miriam Adelson. And Dr. Adelson, I know Sheldon is smiling at us right now. Thank you for all that you've done for the Jewish people. Thank you. IAC understands something essential. Israeli Americans do not sit at the edges of American Jewish life. You stand at its center. Your voices, experiences, and leadership strengthen the entire community. That reality shapes how the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations approaches partnership and responsibility.
That strength reflects leadership. And tonight, we want to acknowledge your CEO, Ilan Carr. Ilan leads with steadiness and purpose. He shows up consistently, engages directly, and treats leadership as responsibility rather than performance. He builds trust across institutions. Under his leadership, IAC reinforces a clear truth. Israeli-American identity deepens American Jewish life. and engagement must move in both directions.
We see that trust clearly in our work together. Over the past year, the Conference of Presidents and IAC have worked side by side on issues that demand clarity and courage, including defending and advancing adoption of the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism. That work, let's have a round of applause for the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, the gold standard of definitions of anti-Semitism. You cannot combat something if you don't define it. That work between the Conference of Presidents and Jewish organizations and IAC required coordination and a shared understanding that words matter because consequences follow them. That partnership also showed itself publicly, and this was an idea that was foisted during one of the Conference of Presidents' missions, and Alon Carr has been a steady presence on those missions literally for almost 2 decades. Together, we helped organize the largest pro-Israel rally in history on the National Mall in November of 2023, a moment defined by unity and purpose.
That cooperation rests on strong governance. We want to recognize IAC's national co-chairs, Avi Almazolino and Tal Schuster, whose stewardship reflects seriousness and clear-eyed leadership.
That same foundation helped pave the way for IAC's admission as the newest member organization of the Conference of Presidents. That decision reflected years of relationship building and shared belief in the long-term work of Jewish unity. We value IAC's voice at the Jewish communal table.
Okay, we can clap again for that. October 7th clarified why partnership matters. Coordinated action strengthens us. Division weakens us. IAC chose engagement when leadership demanded exactly that. We have also seen Israeli Americans step forward across civic life, in schools, workplaces, and public forums, bringing confidence, clarity, and moral seriousness to the moment.
As anti-Semitism rises and Israel faces sustained pressure, leadership requires presence, relationships, and confidence in unity. IAC continues to model that leadership.
So tonight, on behalf of the Conference of Presidents, we say thank you. Thank you to IAC for strengthening American Jewish life, and thank you to Alon Carr for leadership that advances our shared work. Am Yisrael Hai.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you. Well done. And again, just a shout out to LL Airlines. If you can always support the incredible companies and businesses who make nights like this possible, we would be very grateful. So thank you so, so much.
And speaking of flying, many young men and women of this wonderful Israeli-American community, when they come of age, board a plane to Israel and join the IDF while their families stay here in the U.S. The distance is never easy, but pride fills our hearts.
So please welcome to the stage 4 of these incredibly brave young people.
Good evening, everyone. I am Meshi Ben-Ezri from Irvine, California. I joined the IDF as a lone soldier in December of 2020 and served as an officer in the International Cooperation Division.
Hi, I'm Jonas Smolka from Boca Raton, Florida. I joined the IDF as a lone soldier in May of 2023, and I served in the Metilan unit.
I'm Mayor Israel Moskowitz from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I joined the IDF as a lone soldier in December 2013 and served in the intelligence courts, then in the artillery unit, 55, and later as an NCO in Rabbanut in an armored battalion. Then in reserves, I served in Nachal and then joined back with my artillery unit after October 7th.
Hi, I'm Leah Jenge from Las Vegas, Nevada. I enlisted in the IDF as a lone soldier into the International Cooperation Division in January of 2022. I first served as an NCO responsible for the communication with the Jordanian Army at the Allenby border crossing. Then I went on for IDF's officers course, after which I served in 2 positions, the last being the liaison officer for the 769 Brigade to UN and LAF forces on the Lebanon border. We all grew up in the United States as Israeli Americans, children of Israeli parents. We all visited Israel growing up, and Israel was always a part of who we are, part of our identity. But we always knew that an essential part of being Israeli meant serving in the IDF. So we left our families, our friends, our lives. We came to Israel, and we enlisted. Being a lone soldier is a unique experience. It forces you to grow up very quickly. Beyond the service itself and the responsibility it carries, when other soldiers go home for the weekend to parents who spoil them, do their laundry for them, cook for them, we, the lone soldiers, we do our own laundry, our own grocery shopping, and our own cooking. We take care of ourselves. And of course, there's the homesickness. Missing your family, missing the comforts of home. It's hard. But it's also incredibly fulfilling. All of us were on active duty on October 7th when the war broke out. That changed everything. Military service shifted from being a meaningful experience to being a necessity, both for ourselves and for our country. We were fighting for our home and for the future of our people. With all the difficulties and challenges, serving in the IDF for me was a privilege and an important and character-building experience. We want to dedicate the next song to all the lone soldiers currently serving in the IDF, running in the mud, standing alert at guard posts, and sleeping in tents. To all those who left their old lives behind and went to protect our land and keep us all safe. Idan Reicher, the stage is yours.
כל מה שהיה פה ישתנה ממחר. הזמן עוד יתקן את כל מה שכבר נשבר ונשאר. יש מי ששומר את הטוב לידינו, הוא תמיד מחכה. כל מה שהיה פה ישתנה ממחר, אם ננסה רק להאמין בלעדיו, להרגיש בלי לגעת, לדבר עם העיניים, גם כשאין לי יותר מה לומר, לשחרר את הרגע, זה טבעי לפחד מהטבע, לחבק חזק בידיים, כל רגע לפני שנגמר. כל מה שהיה פה ישתנה ממחר, הזמן עוד יתקן את כל מה שכבר נשבר ונגמר. כל התפילות הניסים בחיינו מתחברים לרגע הזה. כל מה שהיה פה ישתנה ממחר, אם ננסה רק להאמין בלעדיו, להרגיש להרגיש בלי לגעת, לדבר עם העיניים גם כשאין לי יותר מה לומר, לשחרר את הרגע, זה טבעי לפחד מהטבע, לחבק חזק בידיים כל רגע לפני שנגמר. הזמן עוד יתקן את כל מה שכבר נשבר ונגמר. כל התפילות הניסים בחיינו מתחברים לרגע הזה, כל מה שהיה פה ישתנה ממחר אם ננסה רק להאמין בלי לדעת, להרגיש בלי לגעת, לדבר עם העיניים גם כשאין לי יותר מה לומר, לשחרר את הרגע, זה טבעי לפחד מהטבע, לחבק חזק בידיים כל רגע לפני שנגמר, כל מה שהיה פה ישתנה ממחר.
Thank you, Idan Rachel. He'll be joining us again tomorrow.
He's amazing, isn't he? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, many Christians in the US and around the world not only care deeply for the Jewish people and for the state of Israel, they act for it, just like true friends do.
Just like you.
We tried.
We have to
we
say.
need more. We need more.
So to lead a discussion with two prominent Christian leaders about the special friendship, we are honored to welcome Emmy Award-winning journalist Stella Inger Escobedo.
Thank you, Hila. Thank you, Aaron. I am going to be leading a panel with our Christian allies, which are so important to us. But before I do that, I wanted to share a little story about myself so you know who I am. I represent the Soviet Jewish refugees in the United States of America. Where are my Soviet Jews in the house? Yes. And I want to say thank you to a lot of the people in this room who helped bring us here. From a little girl born in Uzbekistan to living the American dream in America, standing here on this stage with you, this is an honor I do not take lightly. Thank you to the IAC for having me. I don't take this microphone for granted. Not this one, not the one I have used every single day as a journalist, reporting the news for the past 20 years. Because microphones, you know, matter. They shape narratives. They protect the truth, or they bury it. I am standing here today because my grandparents survived the Holocaust in Ukraine. They fled to Uzbekistan with nothing. I was born under communism. My family was fortunate enough to leave with nothing. We came to the United States as Soviet Jewish refugees, adopted by a Jewish community in Sioux City, Iowa. Then we moved to Los Angeles. When I chose journalism, my goal was very simple: to be the voice of the voiceless. Tell the truth. Never in a million years did I imagine that this calling would mean fighting for Jews, for America, for our Judeo-Christian values. Because when we left the former Soviet Union, I was told Jew hatred no longer existed. Then October 7th happened, and you all know what came next. The masks came off, the intimidation, the harassment, the rewriting of history, the open Jew hatred on the streets of the West. And suddenly, what we had fled was standing right in front of me. There's a reason that this all feels familiar. A former KGB defector, Yuri Bezmenov, warned decades ago, You do not destroy a society with bombs first. You start with the schools. You indoctrinate the children. You distort the truth. And once that happened, he said, you're in trouble. We are living that warning right now. Having spent years in mainstream media and the newsrooms across this country, I understand how narratives are manufactured. I understand propaganda. And after October 7th, I made a very simple decision. I would not stay silent. And I would not allow the same media that I had called home for so many years to distort the facts. I would not allow our enemies to rewrite our history. Whether on television or on my social media platforms, I spoke up. I challenged the propaganda at every single turn, from the media outlets quoting the Gaza Ministry of Health, which is run by Hamas, to the fake Hollywood videos that we were all being bombarded with. I was not backing down, not 1 inch. Let me tell you, this fight is not abstract to me. I am a mother to 2 beautiful girls. Every decision I make, every word that I speak is for them, for our children, so they grow up to be proud, not afraid. The Jewish story is a story of survival, but it's also a story of courage, of people who stood tall when it was easy to stay quiet. And today we fight the same way, by knowing who we are, by standing firmly in our Jewish identity, by refusing to let anyone define us, erase us, or rewrite our history. Because when you know who you are, you cannot be indoctrinated, you cannot be intimidated, and you cannot be erased. And I want to end the way that I started. From a little girl born under communism to standing here with you today in America, this moment exists because people chose truth over comfort and courage over silence. So thank you to every one of you who continues to fight, whether you have a huge platform or no platform at all. Thank you. And that brings me to what comes next, because the story of the Jewish people is also the story of those who stood with us. And now we will continue with an amazing panel. I am so honored to moderate a conversation with our Christian allies, 2 brilliant voices. Chairwoman of the Kufi Action Fund, Sandra Hagee Parker. Yes. The Kufi Action Fund, if you're not familiar, an arm of the Christian United for Israel. It promotes strong U.S.-Israel relationship. Yes, stands up to Jew hatred and defends Israel's right to self-defense and self-determination. Also the president of the Latino Coalition for Israel, Mario Bramnick. LCI engages and activates Latino Christians in the United States and Latin America and the Caribbean to fight global rise of Jew hatred and anti-Israel movements. We will begin our conversation now, but I first have to walk over there. So I'll see you over there.
For sure. Let me say this. You fight propaganda with truth. And it used to be, if it bleeds, it leads. Why? Because it got your attention. Now it's if it clicks, it sticks. Just because it trends doesn't make it true. And at Christians United for Israel, you know, we built the ark before the flood. 20 years ago, people were saying, what are you talking about, anti-Semitism? What are you talking about with respect to Jew hatred? But we know what the Bible says, and we know that the Bible is true. And at every turn, in every century since the beginning, people have come against Jews and the nation of Israel because the promises of God are true. And that is why. So we fight propaganda with truth. And by the way, every single member of Christians United for Israel, at over 10 million plus, knows that when they hear Tucker Carlson, Candace, and Nick talking, they are no more Christian than a hog is kosher.
Yes. Pastor, do you want to answer that question as well? How do you fight it?
Sure. We have the Latino Coalition for Israel, but after what happened on October 7th, we started the National Task Force to combat anti-Semitism. We have over 100 organizations, Christian organizations, Jewish organizations, and we started focused on the unholy alliance between the progressive leftists and Islamists. And as was mentioned, we now saw the same thing rising within the MAGA right movement with Tucker Carlson. And we said that cannot happen. Wherever anti-Semitism is, whether on the left or the right or in between, we must coalesce Christians and Jews, conservatives and liberals together, because we cannot see what has happened in Europe happening here.
Oh, absolutely not. It's called the Red-Green Alliance, which brings me to my next question, Sandra. We're so lucky to have the evangelical Christians here in the United States, 80 million evangelical Christians, and your support means the world to us. But now with voices like Tucker and Candace and social media, really, where everybody lives, the concern is the youth, the evangelical youth. How are you guys tackling that? Because some of them are falling for the propaganda, unfortunately.
Well, I would say if you're a member of an evangelical church, what we'll call a Bible-believing church, you're not falling for it. Because we have educated our students to know that you better know why you believe what you believe, because there's going to come a day when a politician, a political party, a pastor, a pundit, or a podcaster is going to say something with regards to Israel that you disagree with. And if you change your mind, then your support was conditional. But I also think we cannot honestly have this conversation if we aren't talking about the TikTokification of American politics. Do you know what doesn't exist in China is TikTok? We need to stop pretending like this is an organic activist movement when it's paid anarchy, when the enemies of Israel have been doing for 25 years what they're accusing Israel of doing right now. So members of Christians United for Israel know that as the Jews recovered from the trauma of the Holocaust since 1948 and doing everything that they can in their power to survive, that the enemies of Israel have been uniting and doing everything that they can to enable every single Trojan horse that they can to allow our nation to collapse from within. And I will tell you that it will not happen on our watch, because even if the media doesn't pay attention to the real Bible thumpers like me, I assure you there are much more of us than there are of them, and they will lose.
They will lose. Pastor, how do you tell these young children, this is not, I hate to use the word truth because, you know, people say, well, what's the truth? But how do you get to these young people?
One of our organizations is Generation Zion. We had a presence at Turning Point USA to counter the lies. The problem with young conservative Christians, it's not just misinformation, but the absence of proper historical, theological, and philosophical formation. As was mentioned so articulately, you cannot be Christian and hate the Jewish people and the nation of Israel.
Amen. Amen.
And it's so true what you had mentioned, that there's these unfortunate foreign influences in our universities, in the political systems, and it's important actually to trace the money.
Absolutely. That's a whole other topic we could talk about. But I want to talk about the political shift a little, because it is really popular right now to run for office on an anti-Israel ticket. We saw what happened with Mamdani in New York. How are you engaging with decision makers and candidates in ways that are grounded in moral clarity?
Well, I think we all need to remember and keep perspective that we're still talking about outliers here. Marjorie Taylor Greene obviously does not speak for the whole of the Republican Party. We have a Republican Party in the United States of America that still, and rather a Congress that still voted overwhelmingly in support of emergency military assistance. Now, it did come 6 months late, which was unprecedented when an ally was at a time of war, but that's a prime example of ways that we engage. When all of that was happening and Israel was waiting on the aid and we didn't have anybody as a Speaker of the House, we got word that Mike Johnson was going to get it. And in 6 days, we mobilized 350 people from all 50 states, including Alaska and Hawaii. We flew to Washington, D.C. We met with Mike on Sunday. We met with 98% of the House of Representatives on Monday. They had the vote on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, $14 billion was being sent to Israel. All politics is local. We have not forgotten that. We are mobilized in every single state in the United States of America, and we hope that politicians listen to the constituents that are all overwhelmingly pro-Israel, and where hope fails, then you bring the hammer.
Yes, thank you, because there's so much. That's kind of how Mandami won. It's like the groundwork. They go to community to community to community. I got to ask the last question, but go ahead and weigh in, Pastor.
Yeah, we just had an event for the task force because we were in relationship with the Heritage Foundation, and because of what the president said in support of Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, we had to sever our relationship. We had 3 members of the administration at our event. Leo Terrell, Mark Walker, and Mike Huckabee sent a video, and President Trump just last week said, and I want to echo very clearly, anti-Semitism has no place in the Republican Party or in the MAGA movement.
Amen. Amen. And it's because of what Kevin Roberts hasn't come out and said after his speech, too. How can the Jewish community and the Christian community better work together?
Well, the Bible says where there's unity, God commands a blessing. And how many of you in here are married? I've been married for 22 years. If you're married, you know that you do not have to agree on every single topic before you can be unified. So I think that whether you're Christian, whether you're Jewish, regardless of denomination, regardless of tribe, I'll just say that. Let's stop majoring on the minor. Let's not agree to disagree. Let's just agree on one thing, that if we organize like the enemies of Israel, if we integrate like the enemies of Israel do. How many of you know Code Pink and CARE have absolutely nothing in common except their virulent hatred of the nation of Israel? If we could unify like the enemies of Israel do, then there would not be another anti-Israel candidate get elected dog catcher. But we need to unify. Check your differences at the door and unify.
So what you're saying is they should come together more often.
Yeah,
Have
man.
events together. Have people like you on stage like we're doing right now.
100%. Thank you for having me.
We love you. Pastor, how do we work together?
Number one, there is more that unites us than that which divides us.
Yes.
And we need one another because anti-Semitism is not just a Jewish problem. It's a Judeo-Christian problem. It's a Western value problem. And we must stand together and we will win.
Amen. We will end with that. We will win. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra, Mario, and Stella.
Thank you all so very much. I'd now like to introduce our next panel. That's a joke. We're done. It's okay. I get it. I go to bed with my 7-year-old at 8 p.m., so I get it. We love you. Thank you for your patience. You've all been phenomenal. We've loved hosting you tonight. Hila, you are such a joy.
Thank you,
so
the amazing, beautiful, smart, tall Erin Moran. Thank you
Bless
so
you
much.
all.
Many
Thank you.
things to come. There's drinks in this room. So many big names to come. Enjoy the next couple of days. Lots of
And
love.
party
Thank you.
on this floor.
Party on this floor. Take care.
אירוע הפתיחה של ה-IAC, Israel American Council, כאן במלון הדיפלומט במיאמי. האירוע הזה סימן את תחילתו של שלושת הימים האלה, של הרצאות, דיונים, מפגשים, ואני מציע וממליץ לכל מי שכאן באזור להגיע למלון דיפלומט, להשתתף בדיונים, להשתתף בפגישות, ולהמשיך לתמוך בקהילה הישראלית, האמריקאית, היהודית. אני רונן ישראלסקי, שידרתי לכם במיוחד, באופן בלעדי, לערוץ פרספקטיבה, הערוץ הישראלי בצפון אמריקה. אתם מוזמנים לשתף, לתת לייק, לכתוב תגובות, וגם לשלוח מתנות וסטיקרים ביוטיוב. תודה רבה לכם, ולילה טוב ממיאמי. להתראות.